at the rumor that some COVID vaccines contain animal products. The Indonesia chapter has worked with the military to set up vaccination station. Welcome to the Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. As the pandemic situation gets serious in Taiwan, it is important that people get vaccinated. However, there are rumors on the internet that point out that some vaccines contain animal products. As a result, many vegetarians have become worried that they cannot receive vaccination shots. What is the truth? Let's hear from the experts. There's a saying on the internet that points out some vaccines might contain animal products. Let's hear from the public.
I think that vaccine does not contain animal product. It is a medicine. How can there be animal products?
According to the global trend, everyone needs to get vaccinated to prevent infections. Vaccines are not divided into vegetarian and non-vegetarian kinds. It is just like a medicine. It is being produced to cure certain diseases.
Developing vaccines is to prevent threat of diseases. They're mainly made with the outer membranes of the DNA or RNA of viruses. It does not contain animal product and is not vegetarian.
It is for our health and to protect our families. In fact, as you get vaccinated, it is meant to protect lives, which is the same as Buddhist teachings.
The doctor reminds the public that if one hears rumors on the internet, one can consult medical institutions or call the 1922 consultation line to protect oneself and one's families. After a request from the Health Bureau, Hualien City Medical Center has held large-scale vaccination events. At the vaccination station at the high school, besides medical workers, students from Tzu Chi University Medical School have also arrived to observe the process. They say that they're glad to apply what they have learned at school. From preparing the venue to the management of labor, Hualien City Medical Center is fully ready to take on the responsibility. Let's join them there.
Nurses are trained to provide vaccinations to seniors. This is the third large-scale vaccination event held by Hualien City Medical Center.
Seniors have less worries. Moreover, doctors will answer in detail when people have questions on the spot.
Students from TCU School of Medicine came over to observe the process of providing vaccinations.
After the vaccination, some seniors might ask us if they can take medicine for their 3 high.
We can apply what we learned from schools to communities. It feels like I'm jumping out of my comfort zone. The large-scale vaccination event is unavailable for them while they're interning in hospitals. Therefore, we wanted to allow students to come in, fully geared up to participate in the process. The smooth process of providing vaccination is thanks to the administration staff working behind the scenes. From assisting with people reporting in, route planning, and setting up the venue, they are the best shield for medical workers.
Adding up people from the hospital, volunteers, even school teachers, 70 to 80 people registered to help out locals.
I hope that my contribution might influence more people. I don't feel tired at all, and I think we must encourage everyone to come out and get vaccinated.
At the venue, medical workers and volunteers worked in unison to safeguard citizens' well-being.
In both Taipei and New Taipei City, COVID-confirmed cases have been dropping every day. Therefore, Taipei City Hospital reduced their dedicated wards from 5 rooms to 2 rooms. The rooms that originally hosted COVID-confirmed patients will be disinfected, allowing normal patients to move in afterwards. A head nurse recalled her experience caring for COVID-19 patients. Let's take a look.
At the toughest times during the pandemic, Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital hosted 168 COVID-confirmed patients. A total of 5 dedicated wards were established, amounting to 33 ICU medical beds. After the pandemic slowed down, the hospital reduced dedicated wards to 2 rooms. Previously, because some citizens get nervous or worry easily, they often hold back their pain and seek doctors when it's late. When the pandemic slowed down, many seniors and patients came back to the hospital. Responding to the higher demand, Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital would disinfect dedicated wards as medical workers will return to their original departments.
等一下，这边弄好，我们还有一个就是要去楼下搬15张椅子。对。
Chen Meihui, who was previously a nurse head for dedicated wards, is now ready to move on as she shares stories of past patients.
Drug addicts, a senior that knocks frequently, lock-picking senior, frustrated senior, a senior that misses her son, and this room had a patient who stayed on the ground.
照护的过程里面，大家是生死与共。那我们的团队
During the process of caring, our medical team worked closely. For a month, we took on the responsibility. Now it's over. I feel relieved because now everyone can go home safely. In the past, we were afraid of going home.
As Chen Meihui thanks her colleagues, the medical team is still fully prepared as full preventive measures are taken against COVID-19.
During the pandemic period, Tzu Chi assistive device team has given some oximeters to Tzu assistive device platform volunteers. The volunteers gave these oximeters to their elderly and sick Dharma families, hoping they can monitor their blood oxygen levels. One Dharma family suffers from a heart problem and needs to monitor his blood oxygen level. When he received an oximeter from Tzu volunteers, he felt deeply touched. Let's take a look. At Tzu assistive device storage, several volunteers are placing batteries into oximeters. They will be giving these oximeters to elderly Dharma families in the community.
We Tzu Chi volunteers usually serve the public, and we seldom think about how we can help our Dharma families if they have been injured. It happens that Tzu Chi brothers in other districts have donated these oximeters. It is similar to relay race. If you run by yourself, you might not get very far. However, if we work as a team, we can run very far and do a lot of work.
70-year-old Zhang Youren has injured his leg before the government implemented third-level alert. His Dharma family has delivered an oximeter, making him feel very warm.
With this oximeter, I can monitor my blood oxygen level. This is very helpful to me.
In early May, Yuan Chenfeng has fainted due to heart-related problem. Currently, he needs to monitor his blood oxygen level. As his Dharma family delivers an oximeter, he's nicely surprised.
The doctor has suggested us to buy an oximeter to measure his blood oxygen level, as it will be dangerous if the level is too low. Then he said that we do not need to buy it since Tzu Chi is giving them an oximeter.
During the pandemic, volunteers are providing much-needed care to their Dharma family, hoping everyone can stay healthy and safe during the pandemic period. In Taiwan, Nanhua District is located in the remote regions of Tainan. The principal of Nanhua Junior High School has led city volunteers to visit students in the region. They brought food, supplies, and vegetables to the students' families and care for the students. As the pandemic has affected these families' incomes, the parents are very grateful to receive these supplies. Let's join them there. Climbing a mountain, the principal, directors, nurses, and student volunteers visit students living in remote regions. As the students stay at home for the entire summer, a blessing letter from Master Zheng Yan was given to the family.
病毒持续在全球迅速蔓延，200多个国家染疫。
这波疫情非人能挡，唯一的灵方妙药，戒慎虔诚推动生命教育。
We gathered and sent supplies of love. Through the process, we witnessed the difference between cities and villages. But I believe that with love, we may change the world.
Volunteers arrived to distribute care packages and vegetable packages, as both students and parents felt more at ease.
In the care packages, there are rice and dry foods because Nanhua District is narrow. Some students live in a tribe here, and another student lives at the further tribal area. Some even live near Yushan. Besides bringing them everyday supplies, we also brought them Jingsi aphorisms.
Some students might not have the means to make it here, so we will deliver supplies to their home.
The principal also brought homework hard copies for the students, hoping to continue the education of students during the pandemic.
This allows our students to feel the love during the pandemic. The supplies may satisfy their needs, as it will also help them spiritually. We serve them with sincerity, and I wish that these students will have a better future.
As the pandemic affected many households, volunteers arrived with supplies and care, accompanying impoverished families during tough times. Indonesia, as the pandemic situation gets more serious, the government wants to speed up the speed of vaccination. Therefore, it has worked with grassroots organizations. As a result, Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has worked with the military to set up COVID vaccination station. In addition, Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has donated 1,500 hospital beds to hospitals. They hope to relieve hospitals' needs for medical equipment. Let's take a look. Volunteers have placed tables and chairs at the school ground at Grela Village. This is the vaccination station Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has set up with the military.
The pandemic situation in Indonesia is very serious. The government wants to speed up the speed of vaccination, so they work together with Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter to set up vaccination stations. They hope to elevate residents' willingness to get vaccinated so more people can be protected against the virus.
After June, as Indonesia's pandemic situation worsens, the government has worked together with grassroots organizations. They invited doctors to answer residents' questions regarding the vaccination.
Now the pandemic situation has worsened. I'm afraid of contracting the virus, so I have come to get vaccinated. Even if I am infected, my symptoms won't be too serious.
Meanwhile, in Jakarta, hospitals have taken in a large number of COVID patients. Therefore, Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has given 1,500 hospital beds to hospitals, hoping to relieve their needs for medical equipment.
As the pandemic worsens, COVID patients increase quickly. We hope the 1,500 hospital beds can relieve the hospital's needs for medical equipment and help residents in Jakarta. During the pandemic, Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has practiced humanitarian spirit. Not only are you practicing great love, you're also helping each other. On behalf of the Jakarta provincial government, I appreciate Tzu Chi's help.
The government has worked together with a grassroots organization to fight the pandemic, hoping that residents can resume their normal lives soon. The pandemic in Malaysia has not eased, and the number of critically ill patients has continued to increase. As a result, tremendous amount of pressure is on the medical system. Seeing the hospital's needs for medical equipment, Tzu Chi volunteers have raised funds to buy needed supplies. Tzu Chi volunteers have sent needed medical equipment to major hospitals. Let's join them there.
Hospital Taiping in Porok has increased the number of beds in order to treat more COVID-19 patients, but the supply of the medical equipment is not enough.
Hospital Taiping initially had 30 beds and has now increased to 70 beds. As far as hospital beds are concerned, we can indeed increase them. But in terms of medical equipment, we still need outside support to increase the medical equipment needed.
After local volunteers learned of the hospital's needs, they immediately mobilized to purchase relevant medical materials.
When my family was hospitalized, I was waiting by the side. I saw that when the medical staff wanted to check patients' blood pressure, they borrowed the monitors from one building to that building. I felt very distressed.
In addition, in Sultan Amana Hospital in Johor, many critical ill patients urgently need ventilators. Tzu Chi medical team also sent them here.
Not every instrument you need is available immediately because it is to be ordered from abroad. So while we can still help give resources, we must do it now to benefit more people.
There are also disposable medical consumables worn by medical staff when they work, which are also provided.
These materials can help us. We provide the necessary anti-epidemic accessories to the frontline personnel to protect them from infection. Because they will directly contact the patients when they treat the patients, it is very important to protect their safety in the face of pandemic.
To win this pandemic is not only the responsibility of frontline medical staff, but the cooperation of the people is even more important at this difficult time.
In Malaysia, the Penang government has donated 30 second-hand computers to Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter so that city volunteers can help disadvantaged students. Due to the pandemic, students are staying at home. As many poor students do not have computers, they cannot attend online courses. Now city volunteers can provide them with computers so that they can continue to study despite having to stay home.
Second-hand computers are donated to the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter by the Penang government, so Tzu Chi may provide it to children who need it at this time.
Education is very important to disadvantaged families. We often talk about not leaving any children behind, and we need to close the distance between the haves and the have-nots. This also helps to reduce the imbalance in society. I also hope more charitable organizations can contribute to this type of work.
The government of Penang donated 30 computers to help Tzu Chi solve the problem of their educational supplemental program during COVID.
During this time, there are a lot of people who cannot afford to purchase a computer, and also due to the pandemic, there has been a shortage of computer supplies as well. I'm very thankful to Council Member Chong Eng for providing us with supplies. She has been very helpful throughout the whole process. Everyone deserves the same learning opportunity as their peers, just like the Master has always preached, continuing to learn as we grow old. Everyone is on the same page.
The computer isn't just given to the children. Tzu Chi volunteers follow up with the students to ensure that it's being taken care of.
In the beginning, we told the kids, we are lending you the computer. So if the child takes good care of the computer, then Tzu Chi volunteers will apply to donate the computer to the child as a reward. We want to teach the children that they must cherish these items and put it to good use.
I hope the children will learn that this computer in their home has gone through many journeys to get to them. And I hope they will learn to cherish the item. As they are being helped right now, I hope later on they will know to help others.
The love from the state of Penang helps Tzu Chi provide an educational opportunity to disadvantaged children, so they can continue learning despite staying at home in the times of COVID.
Level 3 pandemic measures have allowed more people the chance to spend more time at home. This has given some people the chance to overcome the bad habit of buying outside food. From cooking only a few meals a week to cooking 3 meals a day, this is a good chance to share time with your family.
Cellist Zhang Zhenjie used the world-famous song Swan to pay tribute to the pandemic prevention personnel. In a sudden change, he stepped into the kitchen to become the head chef for his family.
在这么疫情的情况之下，我觉得我们还是要活得快乐一点点。
我最喜欢吃爸爸做的。
I like the pasta made by my dad the most because his pasta simmers for a long time and it will be more delicious and delicate.
我女儿出生以后。
After my daughter was born, I decided that we would eat almost every meal at home. Eating outside, you really don't know what they add.
It is true that after the level 3 alert, because I don't have to go to school, we will eat at home at noon, so we do more cooking.
I now know that all mothers may collapse because of level 3 restrictions. We should change course and try to bring people closer through food. I think this is a very beautiful thing.
Office workers who were accustomed to outsourcing the 3 meals a day are now studying cooking at home. And cooking has become a new change of life for people living through level 3 alert.
The era of the pandemic is an era of uncertainties. No one knows what will happen tomorrow, so uncertainty is a very big source of stress for any animal, including humans. So in an era where everything is uncertain, cooking today is something very certain and it can be really healing.
Li Weiwen is co-founding chairman of the Society of Wilderness and has always attached great importance to parent-child education. Recently, he is satisfied to enjoy hearty food cooked by his twin daughters at home. The Li family will also dine with relatives living in different places by video, exchanging ancestral delicacies with each other.
Today, we can take this opportunity to remember the dishes our parents cooked for us when they were young. And if call grandparents again, we can trace the history and culture of the entire family.
This art is the homework done by these brothers at home. It was an assignment with the theme eating.
这些椅子都是自己做的，桌子也是用折纸的那个东西。然后 VIP 是在那榻榻米呢，
在家里学习。
It takes a lot of time to study at home. When we do homework, it is almost noon, and at 11 o'clock, we start to nervously think about what we want to eat. After 1 or 2 weeks, we may be eating the same thing, so it takes a long time to think in advance what we want to eat at home.
我们在家里要吃什么？你要沾着盐巴，这样把它搓一搓。
Being a tutor, a chef, and an after-school teacher, along with cleaning the home, is a lot of the work for mothers. But the best way to get things done is to share the housework with the children.
The concept of cooking is also like a game. The good thing is that I found that as school teachers give assignments like a game. For example, teacher gave them 2 menus to choose, then I would take the opportunity to say, whoa, the teacher said that turn in this homework.
At home, for more than a month, every child has to adapt their learning.
你们在家里面上课嘛，对不对？会不会觉得很无聊？
不会，会，因为都没有同学跟我玩。
弟弟呢？
还好，就很像一样。
In fact, I think that under this pandemic, although there will be a lot of changes, I have to teach children to do a lot of homework. But at the same time, they have also grown up, and they have learned to arrange their own lives.
And cooking 3 meals a day are the best parent-child time.
Through eating and food, we can bring everyone together. I think it's very beautiful.
Using the whole family to prepare meals together, such as ingredients and cooking together, is also a good medium for parent-child interaction.
I think I will miss these times very much in the future. I will be tired of staying at home 24 hours a day, but after waiting for 10 or 20 years, I will think about this time again and think about how we did something so difficult.
The pandemic has brought us an opportunity for families to come together and return to a simple life and find a delicious connection between parents and children.
In Canada, after people received vaccinations, restriction orders were lifted. On Canada Day, Tzu Chi volunteers held street sweeping event to protect the environment. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.